heavyweights champion. Wembley's a place that's been filled with legends for the better part of a century, and in sporting terms, Frank Bruno has just become one. Do stay with us on Sky Sports as we attempt to take in this weight of emotion that's welling up around the great stadium. I've seldom experienced anything like this in sport. So many people wishing one man so well, and it's just a happy party. The people love him, and this time, at last, he has delivered. More reaction from Wembley. Hope very much you've enjoyed a special night with us so far. The fans who have been with us here live at Wembley Stadium tonight know they've witnessed sporting history as Frank Bruno becomes the WBC World Heavyweights Champion. Across the country, he's been loved for a decade as a loser, but how they celebrate when at last Bruno gets the verdict. This was the scene at the venue in southwest London, Shoeless Joe's, that we featured during the evening here. And there's so much more to come. Big-time boxing next weekend on Sky Sports from Cork in Southern Ireland. Steve Collins against Chris Eubank, the rematch for the WBO World Super Middleweight title. It'll be a hard act to follow, but believe me, there will be tons of emotion on that night too, and we hope very much you can join us next Saturday evening. We're all breathless up here too. Watching with us tonight, Gary Mason, who's tracked Bruno's career right from the start, really, Nicky Piper and Barry McGuigan. You were sitting on the fence last night. How pleased are you for Bruno?
I'm delighted for him. I mean, someone that tries that hard and someone who perseveres. He's lived a monastic lifestyle all through his career. He's had his discrepancies with his style and so on, but he just sucked up there tonight. He fought impeccably well, done what he had to do, and gritted and held on in the last few rounds. The 11th was a shaky round, but the 12th was really shaky. We were all hoping that he would actually hold on. These are the closing moments of the 12th round and the fight itself. And Bruno was badly shaken here and was, you know, you see this newfound ability to hold on the inside, and actually that's what saved him in this fight. He held on when McCall got up close where he wanted to do his good work, and he stopped McCall working, but these were desperate moments for him. He was absolutely out on his feet here, and McCall just couldn't land that clinching punch. Heard him a few times, and as I say, he was absolutely exhausted. That one whistled by his chin, but he held on. This was his night.
Gary, how much did you feel that as the fight developed that we saw Frank Bruno running into the same problems that he's encountered in world title fights before?
Well, yeah, we saw the same sort of scenario, but this time it happened that Frank was able to work for a little bit longer in the earlier stages, and in the later stages, as we see here now, he had genuinely learned some of them holding on tactics where he was just able to stay on top of his man and not allow his man to catch him with any clean shots. But at the same time, as well, McCall, he fought at one pace, which allowed Frank Bruno to be able to survive and be there at the end. And that was a very good performance by Frank, because he had to persevere and he had to take a lot of those shots and get through to the end. And them last couple of rounds were some of the bravest rounds that I've seen in boxing, because Frank, he was very tired, but he hung in there because he knew that he wanted it, and all respect to him.
Nicky, what were the keys to victory for you?
The left jab, of course. Very good left jab. But I just felt that, I mean, I called a Frank Bruno points victory before the fight started, but halfway through I changed my mind, because I thought that McCall was boxing to a plan. And I thought he was going to come on late in the fight, but it seemed that McCall just didn't want to know it. He didn't try tonight. I don't think he's trained very hard. I don't think he really wanted to be world champion as much as I mean, when he won the fight, I think he was happy with that. He was happy to be world champion once, and I think that was it.
I think, not to take anything away from Bruno, but I think Nicky hit the nail on the head. McCall seemed to lack desire, and he seemed to lack a format. He just didn't know what to do, and he was, I have to say, he was very disappointing, McCall, as a champion. Second defence, and you know, he didn't really put up a worthwhile performance. He didn't put up a championship performance. Held on held his hands up high, didn't work hard enough, and he didn't. His work ethic is what lost him the fight, and Bruno's work ethic won the fight from him. Kept his jab going, kept the guy busy on the outside, and when he got up so close, just grabbed him and held him. And he's become more of a veteran now, Bruno, and he's boxing like a veteran. He knows what to do when a guy is dangerous up close. He just grabs him with those big muscular arms, and you can't get out. It's like a vice. And what he does when he gets it at range, he's very, very dangerous. That big long jab and those powerful right hands and left hooks. So I thought Bruno done everything right and McCall done everything wrong.
What about Bruno's work through the middle part of the fight and how he set out his game for
Well, that's a very important point. I think on this occasion, for the first time ever, I've seen Bruno get a second win. Fifth, sixth round, he looked desperately tired in the corner, sucking in big mouthfuls of air and looked really, really exhausted. And we thought, and I said actually after the sixth round was the only round I thought that, I think it was the sixth round, that McCall actually won. Bruno looked like he was falling into the same old habits and making the same mistakes. But he all of a sudden developed a second wind, and he came back and raised his game, used his boxing ability, changed southpaw a few times, turned and just pumped his hands out and kept the guy off him and kept him busy and kept his, kept him from being able to land with a solid blow.
When we saw him fight Lennox Lewis, what, 2-3 years ago in Cardiff, he started exceptionally well, Bruno. Did you feel he started even more impressively this time, through the first 3 rounds, for example?
Well, I thought he boxed very effectively. His left hook was good. His long left hook, I said that in the early part, that his left jab was always going to be good, and that long left hook, he dummies the left jab and lands that left hook. That's a favourite punch of his.
Showed a good variety of punches.
Yeah, without doubt. I thought his all-round ability, and he boxed well, he held up close, his tactics were absolutely impeccable.
Thank you, Barry. They're still singing behind me at Wembley, as you can probably hear. They may continue for a while. They have got a lot to celebrate. The fans of Frank Bruno still in the ring, in fact. They might have to clear them out by switching the lights off in a while. But do stay with us. When we come back, we'll try to get inside the dressing room of the man who's going to go home without a belt, Oliver McCall, who came here with such high hopes, a man who they said had turned himself from a sparring partner and the mentality that goes with that into a champion. Well, he didn't last for very long as a champion, did he? And we hope very much to get a word with him in just a few minutes. Gary, how disappointed were you with him?
Well, McCall, he started in second gear and finished in second gear. He didn't actually get into the fight. I thought that he had a plan, that he might have done something and stepped up later on, but the way he started was the way he finished. And
see, I told you the party was still going on. Just continue as Bruno takes his bows.
Frank did what he normally does. He started well and he battled through and he tired towards the end. But what the difference was here this time, the challenger or the champion didn't really have the desire. But it was said before, but I didn't generally believe it because you hear rumours about fighters before, and I tend not to believe it, but obviously it's proven true. But all credit to Frank, because with persistence you can get through with anything, and Frank is now a living example of what persistence can do.
Bruno's still in there enjoying himself, and why not? But when we come back, we'll be speaking to the defeated camp. We'll get inside McCall's dressing room and hear what they have to say.
Let's do it.
What a difference a night can make. Seen so often in so many corners of the world as Britain's favourite loser. They said they loved him more because he was a loser. Well, tonight Frank Bruno is a winner, and the man who is a loser is a man who claims never to have been stopped, dropped or cut in his career, Oliver McCall, but he goes home without his belt because Bruno's got it. Gary Norman's with the loser.
Oliver, it's never easy to talk to a deposed champion, but just tell us how you're feeling at the moment.
Well, first of all, I think I'm a champion of classes. Even in losing, I'm still the same Oliver. I don't have no bad remarks. I went over and congratulated Bruno for his victory. He won the fight. He told me to apologize about my dad and things of that and said he didn't mean it. I accepted his apology. I think he fought a very smart, courageous fight. He used a couple of tactics which I thought that was unjustified, but, you know, they happen. And I did not use my game plan to the most effectiveness. I think I ended the fight very good, though. I almost had him out the 12th round. I'm sure if he went and held and the referee would have kept him from holding, I would have had him knocked out in the 12th round.
It seemed to me that you couldn't really get into your stride. Why was that?
Exactly. I couldn't get in my stride. I don't know. I guess I didn't warm up enough in the dressing room. I went out there too lax and too comfortable. Sometimes I think I had the fearness that I would usually have just didn't click in the fight like I wanted to until the later rounds. And I don't know why or whatever, but the corner was steady telling me, and it was just something that I was just too lax and comfortable with what I was doing until I found out and realized that if I didn't knock him out, it would be too late.
You two were friends a long time ago. You used to look after him when he came to America. Can we say that you'll be friends now?
You know what? I'm the type of guy, we always gonna be friends. For the fight's over, he won the fight, and he came and apologized, and I accepted his apology. I believe we could be all right. You know, things happen, and he's a man, he have a family to raise, and so do I. And I love London. I love the people of London, and that's what being a champ is all about, a good champion anyway. I gave the London people a chance to re-get the title. Y'all end up accomplishing that. I took the title from here 1 year ago from Lennox Lewis, and unfortunately, I gave it my best, and you know, at that time of what I had to give, and I came up a little short.
You didn't have to come here and give him a chance. We appreciate it. I'm sorry, it's difficult to talk to a deposed champion, but yeah, thanks for coming.
Better luck next time, and tune in, and I just hope Bruno will have success in his upcoming fights.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Well said indeed by Oliver McCall, but one has an idea, Gary Mason, that tomorrow he may wake up and not be so phlegmatic and even-tempered about that.
Well, when he gets his paycheck for this fight, he'll realise it's a lot smaller than he imagined it was going to be, and then he'll realise there's not another one like that coming, and that can be very heartbreaking.
Nicky, from the point of view of Frank Bruno, would you like him to quit as king of the world, or do you see it inevitable that he will go on, even at the age of 33,
I don't
rising
know,
34?
he probably will go on, but I think that he should quit now. I think he's achieved that world championship status. Let's finish as a winner. He boxed brilliantly tonight. He kept McCall confused with jabs and a good variety of punches. Maybe that's the reason why McCall couldn't put his punches together. Maybe Bruno was just doing too much for him. But he boxed great, and I think he should remain world champion, undefeated.
Closing thoughts, Barry?
I thought Bruno boxed impeccably. He held it together. He showed us real grit and determination. He sucked up through the tough rounds. He toughed it out, and he held on to the end. And although he was badly shaken, he deserves it. Nobody deserves it more than him. And congratulations to him.
A thrilling evening on Sky Sports. Hope very much you've enjoyed it, and there's lots more to come in the next few weeks on big-time boxing, an unrivaled array of talent in the next few weeks. We'll see you in Cork next Saturday night for the WBO World Super Middleweight title fight. Steve Collins against Chris Eubank. It's the rematch. And in the weeks ahead, we're in Cardiff on the 30th of September for Steve Robinson's defense of the WBO World Featherweight Championship. Nassim Hamed going up a weight division, but can he upset the long-reigning Robinson? We spoke earlier in the evening to Lennox Lewis. Lewis still very much in the world title picture. He marks time against Tommy Morrison, and you can see how he gets on, trying to bubble his way towards the top of the rankings. On Sunday morning in the small hours, we start at 2 a.m. on October the 8th. And on to the 5th of November, and a major head-to-head between two quality heavyweights in the United States, Riddick Bowe against Evander Holyfield. That's at 3 in the morning, and there may be fireworks on that night too. My thanks to Gary Mason, Nicky Piper, and most of all to Barry McGuigan. Pleasure to have you alongside me, Barry, on such an historic night for British boxing. There will be certainly a great deal more fireworks in Cork. We'll see you again next weekend. Nigel Benn retains his WBC World Super Middleweight title here at Wembley Stadium, but the venue of legends has created another page of sporting history. And the moral of this tale, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Good night from everybody at Wembley.